Hey there, CAD 240. Hope everybody's doing well. Nice snowy day. Um, okay, so we're going to start in D2L, and we're going to talk about assignments and due dates and how I grade your assignments. And we'll also do some drawing in Inventor, and I'll be using a couple of your assignments to go over. So, all right, so here we are. We're in D2L. When we click on assignments, I just posted a couple new assignments. So we've got the dual lever sketch and the mounting block. And we're going to talk about both of those in just a minute. So you're going to notice that these have a due date of January 31st, which is this coming Sunday. So anything I assign during the week, so today is Tuesday Tuesday, the 26th of January. Anything I assign this week, I'm going to have a due date of that following Sunday, so that you guys can work kind of at the pace you want to work at. So if you want to daily, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, do the assignments and then, post the assignments in D2L or turn them in, that's fine. Or if you would like to work in chunks, so say you on Wednesday do Monday and Tuesday together, and then on Friday go back and do the Wednesday or Thursday assignment. That's okay too. So you're not, I'm not going to be looking for any of the assignments necessarily until Sunday. That being said, you can turn stuff in early. That's fine too. But just so you know, this is an asynchronous class. So some people are watching these tutorials at night and then working at night. So it really depends on when you prefer to do this work. I've had several questions about that, so I just wanted to clarify that we are asynchronous. So I will, however, so our normal meeting time, if this was a normal class, and we're meeting in person, this class would meet from 1 to 3:45 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in room 104 in Boulder Creek. Those times I am available. So I am available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 1 to 3:45. Free to call, text, email, for sure. You can call, text, and email outside that too. It's just I'm not quite as reliable outside class hours, just to clarify that. So, all right. So this dual lever sketch relates to Solid Professor. So I'm going to go over to Solid Professor. So if we click in Solid Professor, and let's just go back out to CAD 240. Inside of assignment 2, you'll see dual lever sketch down here. So when you are doing assignment 2, hopefully you've saved all this, you can just turn that in to D2L when you're done. You don't have to turn in 2 gasket slots. So I'm not going to collect everything from each exercise, but in order to get the practice you need, they're great. You should be doing these, and you're kind of shorting yourself if you don't do those things. So do those as practice, and you'll be very well prepared for what comes next. So, but I'm only going to ask you to turn in the dual lever sketch from assignment 2. Going back out, in assignment 3, I'm going to have you turn in the mounting block from this one for now. These should also be done. You should also do those 3 and save those. It's important. But we're going to go over the mounting block today. And I'm just going to back up real quick to assignment 2. And I'm going to open the grading criteria. So when you turn this in, And when you look in D2L, you're going to see this grading criteria right here. It says dual lever sketch. Drawing sketches are fully defined, 10 points. Lines and arcs are tangent, you get 10 points for that. Dimensions are accurate and match the drawing. Features like holes and other things in the drawing are located correctly, and features are properly sized. So that is how you're going to earn credit and earn points, like full points, through that. So we're going to go over, some of these criteria today, and talk a little bit more detail about fully defined sketches, etc. One of the key things you want to remember when you're, let's see here. I'm going to try and open this dual lever sketch. Okay, so here's the dual lever sketch right there. When you are doing this, in order to get it fully defined, you want to make sure that you have all of the dimensions that are included in here. Usually they don't give you extra dimensions. So if you're missing one of these dimensions, you're probably under-defining your sketches. So just a word of warning. So you'll need this angle, you'll need all of these dimensions included in that sketch. And we're going to talk about some other of the grading criteria, but I'm going to use the block to do that. So next we're going to go to the mounting block, and I'm going to talk about a few things. So the grading criteria for the mounting block is pretty similar. Sketches are fully defined, part is extruded to the proper depth, dimensions are accurate, fillets are properly sized, and the features are properly sized. Okay, let's go to the mounting block in Inventor. So when I get a part from you guys and I open it up, it's pretty easy to figure out if you have fully defined your sketches or not. And here's how I do it. You see you've got your features over here. Underneath each feature is a sketch. Here's the sketch that created that feature. And I know that this is a fully defined sketch because it's got a little pin in the corner right there. And if I hover, it says fully constrained. Let's see what it looks like if it's not fully constrained. So we'll go ahead and we'll edit the sketch. Let's delete one of these dimensions. We'll close the sketch. And now if we go over here, this little square does not have a pin in it, and I don't get the flyout that says fully defined. But if I go down here, I can still see that the rest of these are fully defined, so that's good. So that means you'll have to go back into the sketch if you're reviewing your work and you're missing something, you don't have a fully defined sketch, edit sketch. You can add a dimension or a constraint, and we'll talk about constraints again in a minute. And there we go, we're all good. Okay, so up to now, to create this block is pretty straightforward. You're gonna just basically follow the directions on the instruction sheet that pretty much go along with the basic video and stuff that we talked about last week. Having taught this block several times, there is one thing about this block that students find or can find very tricky. And here's what it is. So if we go back to the directions, I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. So right here, you're going to see that the sketch to create this little tombstone cut, you'll see that cut, or that sketch is kind of floating in space. And so what I've seen a lot of students do is they see that cut and they're like, oh, I want to cut this face, so I'm going to put the sketch on this face. Sometimes that's not what you want to do. Sometimes you can put a sketch on this face, but you can actually cut into this face, and that's what we're going to do in this situation. So I'm going to show you how I draw this sketch, and also how I use a combination of dimensions and constraints to get a fully defined sketch to make this cut. So let's go back to Inventor. Actually, I'm going to look at these dimensions real quick. Here's a sketch, and it looks like 0.5 radius. I think it's a 0.63. Yeah, 0.63 out. So we'll go with that. Okay. So I know that I want the cut to cut down in here, but it needs to be on this face. So I'm going to click this, create new sketch, and then I'm going to go ahead and start drawing. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to grab my line again. I'm going to draw down here. And also remember, you want to have your sketch closed. You want a closed sketch. So you wouldn't want to forget this end line. Otherwise, it's going to be an open sketch still. So I'll zoom in a little bit. Let's talk about tangent real quick. So tangent is a curve that goes smoothly into the adjacent line. So if you remember from math class, the definition of tangent is a line that touches a circle but does not cross it. So right here, you can see that the line crosses the circle, but if it's out here, it touches the edge but does not cross through the circle. That's the definition of tangent. It's also in it. So if you extended this one, so if you extended this point, it would still go into the circle. So if you had a line of infinite length, it would never cross through the circle. That's tangent. And what that results in is a smooth transition from a line to an arc like that. So we use tangent arcs quite a bit. So we'll go arc, tangent, and if you didn't catch how I did that, if you do the drop down underneath the toolbar for arcs, tangent arc, then we can do this, and we can just click endpoint there, and we have a tangent arc. Okay, and if I remember, the radius of this arc is 0.5, and then the dimension here is 0.63. Okay. You're going to notice we do not have a fully defined sketch yet. We can still move this around like this. Oh, and see this? That's not tangent. Okay. So here is a relationship or a constraint we can add. So you notice that this is not doing what it's supposed to. So I'm going to click it. I'm going to press and hold Control, and I'm going to select the line as well while holding Control. That selects them both. At this point, I can go up to the tangent constraint here, and I'll add that constraint. Okay. Now we're getting closer to a fully defined sketch. We're not there yet. If we go back to the PDF, you're going to notice that they give us directions that there's a line from here all the way over to the center point of the circle. It doesn't do a very good job, but I know that, oh, it says right here, along the edge part until the midpoint appears. Okay, so we know that this line touches the midpoint of the back edge of this block. So I'm going to add a construction line from here over to here. And I want it to be a construction line because it's not going to be part of any geometry. It's there to help line up stuff. So I'm going to click my line. I'm going to come over here back, and I'm going to hover until I get a midpoint. Okay, there's the midpoint right there. It turns a little green dot. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to draw a line over to here. Press escape. All right, obviously this line should be horizontal across here, but it's not. It's clearly not horizontal. It's also not a construction line yet. I'm going to click that line. I'm going to click construction. That construction line becomes dotted, and it becomes invisible basically when you close the sketch as well. And it's just also visually more helpful to see what's going on when you make your construction lines construction. The other thing too is we can add another constraint. We can tell that line that it needs to be horizontal, and it actually drags the geometry horizontal with it. So now with those constraints, we have a fully defined sketch. So we've now used a combination of constraints and dimensions, which is really important to be able to do. Because sometimes dimensions aren't the quickest way to constrain something. A lot of times you can use constraints, the constraints toolbar much more efficiently to do that. And now we are going to cut down using this. So if we go to 3D model, we're going to go to extrude and drag the toolbar over here. We're going to say cut. So now we don't want the distance. We don't want through all. We don't want to. Actually, we do want to. We want down to. And this is another slightly confusing thing. It says select face, but you can also select points. So if you selected that face, it would cut down to the face, to that face, but it wouldn't actually cut into the face because it only would cut down to it, and that's it. But if we select this point on the corner, it's going to go to the depth of that point, and then we can click OK because it's down to the dimension it needs to be. Okay, so hopefully that will clear up any issues that you guys have with this part. And then once you complete the mounting block, you guys can go on to the remaining models in assignment 2 as practice. You can, once complete, which actually I think there's some fillets left to do. Yeah, I've got a couple fillets to do around the edges, and then save it, and then you can upload it to Inventor or to D2L. So, all right, so there'll be a mounting block assignment that you'll upload this to, and yeah, we'll do that. So if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll talk to you soon.